Testing, testing, testing. I usually do that before the stream, but I think my audio is a little bit more messed up today. Good to be back. It's been a long time just because I've been getting used to everything. But look, new apartment. Look, I have like a background this time. I have a little setup here, so you guys don't see my YouTube recommendations. I don't know how I did it, in my previous streams, but this is. Oh my gosh, I sound terrible. This is cheek or peak. We decide if something is cheek, if it's bad, or if it's peak, if it's good. Just like in general. I don't expect like a huge number of viewers today because YouTube does not like pushing me because I haven't put out a video in a while. I am working on one. But that's just how the cookie crumbles, I guess. And see if people actually come in. See, the thing about streaming is like, even if you don't get an audience, you have to commit to it. That's the worst part. Like, usually I get a bit more than this. I feel like usually I have something going on in the background. Oh, you know what I don't have on? My headphones. When you listen to music, it's important that you have headphones. Yeah, that just goes to show how I'm doing at the moment. If I'm too quiet, by the way, somebody let me know. I don't see my levels being very high. Is this gonna fix it? Maybe a little. Right, so, RWBY music. What is RWBY music? RWBY music is anything that was made for a soundtrack for RWBY, one of the most web shows in history. RWBY is something that has been in my life, intertwined inextricably, since I was 15, because if it wasn't for RWBY, I would not be that interested in songwriting, which is crazy to think about. How have I been? I've been good. I actually really like this like new chapter in my life. I like my new job. I like the new apartment. You know, I'm in like a rhythm. I'm happy. The only thing is I can't work on my videos that much because I'm not working from home anymore. So in my downtime, I can't like. I guess I could bring my laptop to the office, but. So like me with Wish, yeah, kind of. RWBY was like my Wish, like what Wish was to you, Wish what RWBY was to me, because it was the first time I noticed that like lyrics could be wrong, and I don't know if that's just coincidental, or if like the lyrics are just especially bad. So this is like a retrospective. I don't, because I used to listen to it all the time. I don't anymore. I only listen to RWBY music to show people RWBY music. And to kick us off, so I did have people try, send in some songs, but the first thing I want to do is I just kind of have like a sample video up right now, which is Mirror Mirror Part 2, and then This Life is Mine Part 1, 2, and 3. Didn't they have a Mirror Mirror Part 3? Or is that just This Life is Mine? I am going to keep this one in mind, like I'll show it eventually. I should just go with the ones first. So, the first one I was sent was This'll Be the Day. I've heard This'll Be the Day so many times in my life. Yes, we will see if my audio balancing is good. Because it does, the RWBY music is loud. Alright, sound test. This is good. Sound test. This'll Be the Day is very fascinating to me because it's like the first and last good hard rock song in RWBY. I'm a bit loud. Okay. It's... Someone says little loud. Other people are saying it's fine. But Roaster has an audio mixing background, so I'm gonna trust it. Um, and This Would Be the Day works because it is mixed well. Mixing is something we're going to talk about a lot today. I don't know if I should be listening to like the official Spotify releases to get like the true stems or anything. I just like this because the lyrics are on screen. This is kind of like how would I say it? This is the most cohesively written opening for RWBY, because it's like the lyrics don't take themselves super seriously. You could tell they just were coming up with like cool words, right? And that is important in something like this. I really do think that like you have to let yourself go and tell yourself like, you know, like this, like legends scatter, day and night will sever, hope and peace are lost forever. That is a nonsense line. That does not mean anything. But, like, it sounds incredible, right? And I think that sometimes we get carried away in the idea of, like, oh, everything has to be written like it's an intertwined masterpiece and, like, it's a puzzle for you to put together. Sometimes words can just sound really cool. There are so many songs I've written where I was just like, yeah, this just sounds good, and I went with it, and then I let myself come up with a meaning later on. The fact that this like has a little pulse on the lighting is that's just absolutely darling. It really is. But yeah, This Will Be the Day is mixed like it's a real song. Like everything feels balanced in the actual production. You know, there's this cool little section here. The drums don't feel overbearing. They feel kind of they feel spaced out enough. The guitars aren't overbearing. The vocals are decently understandable. Casey was 13 or 14 at the time, so enunciation was not going to be her strong suit, which is fine because she sounds great. The vocal harmonies are good. And then you ask, like, from here, what happened? Well, this first person who sent it in, which is Ellie Lilac 4625, you know, looking at my post comments, they said like, yeah, that's a fun high energy. If this was, you were trying to convince me peak, this is a great choice, right? Because like it's good. But then they said you should listen to Big Metal Shoe. If you're ready for the absolute swing in quality right now. So this is Big Metal Shoe. And it was played at the end of Volume 6, which was the most almost good RWBY season. I can't remember the names of the songs, but I remember one of the season's intros being so horribly produced I thought something was wrong with my headphones. Yeah, so this is Big Metal Shoe. It's, no one should sing like this, first of all. That horrible screech, that's not Casey, is Jeff Williams, I'm pretty sure. Jeff Williams really likes jazz harmonies in songs that shouldn't have jazz harmonies. This is not the worst example of it. Oh, I forgot about the chorus. Ooh, those like big high notes he's trying are just. I'm playing that again. You're all doing this with me. That was greenlit. Okay, that was greenlit. Somebody played that back to many people, and they all said, yeah, sure. I don't think there was much QC happening in RWBY music, or in RWBY in general, because they only had like 3 days to make anything. So this is a curious case, though, right? Because when this was sent to me, it's like, oh, this is a fun song. Like, you're not meant to take it seriously. And we just talked about, like, you don't have to take your lyrics that seriously. You know, sometimes it could just sound good and you could roll with it, or you could just be trying to be funny and you can roll with it. But the thing about telling a joke is it has to be funny, right? You can't just say like, oh, it's a joke, but like if it's not good, it's not good. So when I hear this, I'm not gonna be like, funny joke. Yeah, I'm not paying attention to the lyrics anymore, because it's just like, I'm recovering from that. Oh, like RWBY, but I'm obsessed with Red Like Roses. We'll get to Red Like Roses. Don't worry. I still don't know what a dope sheet is. I think I remember looking it up once and I couldn't find anything. But that was, you know, years and years ago. And I understand also what they're trying to do with, like, oh, they're making, like, nursery rhyme references. And that's the whole song. But like most RWBY songs, the kind of thread through the whole thing is, I'm really cool and I'm going to beat you. I'm pretty sure it's an animation term. What would an animation? I guess because, like, nursery rhymes are made into cartoons sometimes. It's an animation term. But if you're trying to convince me that RWBY is peak with this, no, this is cheap. I'm sorry. Like I'll say that there's effort put into this. Forgot there was a rap. Okay, I could do this. Flawless victory, carve your tail like free my mics. Better listen up, not saying it twice. Bring around Rosie, you can't oppose me, let you know now. I'm here to take you down. You're gonna reach your end in the splendor. No more pretending you're all pinning. Star won't twinkle, squeeze to a wrinkle, bloody up the scene, a nightmare's fiend. Run the bridge down. I really like the constant like A A B B C C rhyme scheme. It's very Dr. Seuss. It's very Dr. Seuss flow, and I think I've used that term before. I like to measure up rap. It's like if your rap verse is worse than a KDA verse, it's not good. That's why I like Mendoza line. This is your friend that's like, no, I swear I can rap. I swear I'm really good at rapping. I swear I can rap. But like, but the thing is, like, they're not taking it seriously, and I get it. I get that that's the point, is they're not taking it. It's not meant to be. This isn't like an elegy, right? And that's fine. It's just, it's not funny. It's hard to even keep up with all of the puns they're throwing in there because A, it's going very fast. And B, I can't understand most of what's being said, and C, that it's not mixed well. So the background, like if you're listening to the background instrumental, sorry to make you do this again, or to like when it's the verse, it's not as bad, but then when the pre-chorus comes in, it's so like muddy because the guitars aren't being layered well. And the cymbals, the cymbal choice is, I don't have a good word for it, but it's like very fuzzy. You know what I mean? Like it sounds, you have this like very fuzzy cymbal in the background, and then you have this very fuzzy guitar over it, like a few layers of fuzzy guitar over it, and then like very processed vocals on top. So it's very hard to make out what's actually being said. You go back to This Will Be the Day. I just want to play that one more time so you could see the comparison. Do you see how clear the vocals sound? The cymbals are tighter, the snare is tighter. And even this solo, it's like the tone is cleaner. So I can make out the solo over the backing guitar easier. Like if you go back to kind of the chorus area. The instruments feel like you can, if you listened, you could probably find all of them except the bass. Can I even hear the bass? there a bass in this song? Wait. If there is a bass, it's doing like that da 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 da. It's like not doing anything fancy, which is fine. Like it works, right? But I don't know what happened between Volume 1 and Volume 6. Another song that person sent me was Touch the Sky, which I think was Volume 7's opening? Yes. Do I have, like, a lyric version? I guess this one. I don't think I ever listened to the full version of this. My place in history. Today I'm gonna start a brand new life. And sometimes I can't tell if it's been like compressed to hell by YouTube. Like, I'm legitimately curious. If I go to, you know, YouTube Music, let's say. Don't ignore my YouTube Music recommendations because this is not the account I actually listen to it on, which is why it's recommending me Arcane unironically. Touch the Sky, RWBY. Okay. This does sound a little more decent. Today I changed my place in history. Today I'm gonna start a brand new life. Done with suffering, had enough of misery. The drums are I don't think they're real. I mean, I don't think they're drums either. But I feel a different kind of energy. Oh, there's a bass in this one. This is more like I can tell Jeff grew up in like the 80s. Cause this is okay, here's this thing he does a lot. You hear that harmony? This one here. I'm not sure what interval that is, but it's very unfitting in a lot of other songs that he'll put it in. Because it's always the same interval. So it's like usually when you're doing a harmony, you want it to be a little varied. In terms of, sometimes you can get it is actually pretty common you could get away with just going a perfect fifth up from the lead line, and it creates a nice backing because it's a perfect fifth. Like that's just a normal, very kind of nice interval. But what he's doing is a little bit jazzier, and when you use a jazzy chord, like a harmony like that, generally that's meant to be like an accent, not like a constant thing. Which is why I think it always puts me off. This has kind of like sitcom opening vibes, which is strange considering it's Volume 7 of RWBY, which is supposed to be like an action show. Yeah, I don't think I've ever listened to this one in full. I swear, without those harmonies, this would be decent. But, like, he always puts in those harmonies, and it's such a strange choice almost every single time. It kind of reminds me of, like, a voice filter. Sorry, the mixing of that little drop was actually very strange because it sounded like it was coming from behind me. Wait, was that there or was that in real life? Hold on. No, that's in the song, and it sounds like it's coming from over here, which is strange. Like, it's a thing you could do, but it's like, well, that's weird. This song is interesting because it doesn't feel like it goes anywhere. Like, it never kind of hits a climax that I've heard so far. Like, the chorus is indistinguishable from the verse in that respect, that it's not, like, getting more energetic or anything, because Casey's been screaming this whole time. I know that, I think volumes 6 through 8 is when he said that, Jeff Williams said he was getting really bored. Oh yeah, his soloing has always been very strange to me, because, like, you're not, like, supposed to shred over a backing like this. You're supposed to do something a little lighter. But he always shreds, and it's like, I get it, you can play guitar, but that's not how soloing is kind of meant to work. This is also weird, because I don't know what genre it is. Like, I could not tell you what genre this song is. Like, it's not pop. I guess it's a little bit pop rocky. I've never heard anything quite like it. I like this piano flourish. Was there any piano in this song? I wonder if the singer ever lost her voice singing these songs. It wouldn't shock me. I think she has said that she can't sing like she did on Volume 1 anymore. Oh, what's this? What's this supposed to be? Is this like... What's that? I think that piano was off key, not off key, off beat. Like, very slightly off beat. Yeah, you're not really supposed to, like I'm not, I'm not a professional voice teacher or anything, but the way that Casey has been singing since Volume 1, considering how young she was, probably did a number on her. It's a bit hard to say, because as people get older, their voices do change. Like Taylor Swift is a great example, how she sounds very different on her first few albums compared to how she sounded on the re-recordings. But to, like, strain a growing person's vocal cords that much, I don't know if it's exactly gonna bode well for them. It's definitely worth thinking about. I mean, I really do think he should have, like Casey's very talented. I think Jeff should have sprung for somebody else. Maybe used her for backing, but waited till she got older. I don't know. Like, again, I'm not saying this as like a professional or like a medical, expert. I just can't imagine it's that good for you. So yeah, the mixing on there was better than it was in the YouTube video. It doesn't shock me that the YouTube the upload would be a little more compressed. I would say that's the equivalent, or not the equivalent, like, that's a definite It's not cheek, except for certain parts. It's certainly not peak. So that's like a very solid 5 out of 10. It didn't make me feel anything, which is, a problem. Like, I think it is better that a song makes me feel like bad than makes me feel nothing. So I got, let's see, another comment from Quartz-Aussie. Anyway. RWBY's music is generally varied in quality, but one thing it is unsubtle. The lyrics are incredibly on the nose, especially for the song that, oh my gosh, Cinder's backstory song, or as we call it, Cinder's foot song. Hold on, what was that song called? Oh, it was just called, like, The Truth, right? Not Sacrifice. It's yeah, it's just called, like, The Truth. I would like a better upload Like, isn't there this dude who would just make RWBY lyrics for everything? He would have like the lyric videos. Maybe he stopped eventually. I like how this is just off center completely. Yeah. Okay, so he did upload it. It's not even a minute long. So. So my friends and I have called this Cinder's Foot song for years.
Sweep the floors. Shut your mouth and do your
Where's the line? It's like around here.
Scrub the dishes in the sink. No one said that you should think. Shine the silver, wash the clothes, and when you're finished, darn the socks. Draw my bath, fetch my slippers, fill my glass, and rub my feet.
There it is.
Hurry up, you're so slow, you're no good. I hope you know that your life is of no use, and the truth is that no one's ever loved you.
I like how people waited for Cinder's backstory for, you know, what was it? 8-9 years, and then that's what they got. Which is, Cinder was Cinderella. That was the joke. Or, like, that was kind of like the non-comedy punchline to her entire development. Or development isn't the right word, because, like, you know, that didn't happen. There was none. But, by the way, you might get a girlfriend cameo in a second. Hey. But yeah, there are a lot of RWBY characters where, like, they were very mysterious and people enjoyed coming up with their backstory, and then we actually got their backstories and it was worse. I think sometimes you can leave things to your imagination. Aster GF cameo. Yep.
Hello.
I don't know if it picks up from here.
Okay.
She says hi. She says hi to chat. She just got done making Pokemon card deals.
Yes.
That's her little side hustle. This is mine.
It's also just our hobbies.
Yeah, it's also our hobby. She's not a scalper or anything. She's legit, don't worry. She hates scalpers as much as the rest of us. I'm trying to think, what was another RWBY song that's, like, super unsubtle? It's hard to narrow it down. I did see one thing recommended. Somebody recommended one thing. So I will get to that. Instrumentally, absolutely peak. Lyrically, mixed bag. Integration within the scene, perfect, especially in the first 3 seasons. It's like very interesting. I would be very interested to hear an instrumental of different RWBY songs, because it's like I said, like, sometimes the vocals are what wrecks it. Like, I guess I'll Die With a Smile on my recommend list. Man, I wish I was listening to Die With a Smile.
It was just fun, we lived in peace, looked to a happy ending. The days were bright, they shine like gold, every step ascending. Our dreams came true, our path was
What is this artwork? Why is her arm so thin? Anyway, like, this is a good example. Like, here. Like, what on earth are those harmonies doing there? But, like, instrumentally, this is probably fine. Like, this is actually a good chorus. I like this build-up. The emphasis, like, the rhythm, I want to play it again. The rhythm of the lyrics are good with that drum beat. Like, that actually matches very well. But then it goes to this, like, this, like, blast beat on the bass. I like how there was no fill, it was just a blast beat. Like, he didn't do anything, like, Like usually a song like this, you would have the blast beat on the bass, and then there would be like a like there would be some sort of fill to transition to this. But I think it's a drum machine. I don't think Jeff's a drummer. But like again, it's fine. I don't use drums. I use drum machines too. All my instruments are MIDI because I'm not that good of an instrumentalist and I don't have the proper equipment. I should probably get like one of those Scarlet boxes. Oh, here. Okay. Okay. I'm the only one who knows this. Right around here, there is a like mouth sound that made it past the noise gate. And I've known this for 10 years. It's right there. Hold on. There. And I'm the only one who notices this. This gives me Splatoon vibes. If I was making like a hardcore butt rock, like epic anime song and somebody told me it sounded like music from the game where they shoot each other with paint, I would collapse. I like that, by the way. We'll live our lives watching our backs, not knowing who to trust or fear. Like, those don't mean the same thing. But, like, if I was pointing out every redundancy in a RWBY lyric, we'd be here for 7 hours. Which, who knows, maybe people want that. What are these? What are these harmonies supposed to achieve? Because they don't make it sound bigger. They don't make it sound more threatening. They don't make it sound, like, more melancholy or anything that's supposed to be happening just based off the lyrics and the rest of the instrumentals. It makes it kind of sound like a little bit, like, mellow and jazzy. Like, I've used that word a lot, but it sounds like a little funky, but that's not the vibe. You can't just put in you can't just do, like, oh, I like this technique, so I will use it everywhere, because that technique is not applicable everywhere. Let's see. How do you feel about Splatoon music? It's fine. There's some good ones, some bad ones. Nothing has, like... I mean, Nintendo music in general, I think is kind of it's, like, fine most of the time. Occasionally you get, like, especially in the past 10 years, it's fine. It's just kind of... It melds together pretty... Like, it's like the Nintendo mush sound. That each game kind of has its own, like, sonic palette, and they just default to it for a lot of things with slightly different melodies. I like how the song says shattering the moon. It's like some example of mankind's cruelty, but the real explanation is the god of destruction blew up the moon for no reason. I feel like this would be a song that would be good with, like, Death Note. I mean, yeah, like I don't think it's not, like, unsalvageable. A lot of RWBY songs are not, like, unsalvageable. You know what I mean? They're not, like, horrible, like, some of them are. Some of them, I would say, like, I cannot take the elements of this and make them better, but I actually got my start songwriting rewriting RWBY songs that I didn't like the lyrics of. Now, this was when I was, like, 15. And this lasted through I'd say, like, freshman, sophomore year of college. So 15 through 19, that is how I taught myself songwriting. And I did plateau eventually because there's a thing I like to say, which is that if you fill all the potholes on a road, you know what it's called? Flat. If you just fix things, you will never learn how to actually make it good. Because you'll always just be on that neutral of, like, oh, I made things not bad, according to my standards. And if you want to get me on any song, cut out the instrumentals and then have the chorus come in, works every time. There's an Olivia Rodrigo song I really like that does that, but I cannot show it to you. Because this stream would immediately get flagged. How did I drop 10 viewers in, like, a second? What did I say? Did it disconnect? It still says I'm live. My girlfriend was just asking me that. Um, no, it's streaming. Sometimes it happens. It'll go back up. Like, maybe it's because I said I used to rewrite RWBY music, and people were like, I can't stand this anymore. But like that was my teenage cringe, you know? That's just how it works. I did come up with some good lyrics back in the day. I will say, I was powerful in 10th grade. And I've only recently reached that level of power again, I feel. But I'm sure I could find the document. I put a lot of them down in. We will get to one I really liked when we get to the character that I'm thinking of. One person, Nessie, commented saying that they actually translated 20 to 30 songs of RWBY to their native language, which is very impressive, because judging by their channel, it's Ukrainian, and going from English to Ukrainian is very difficult in that regard, to do it like with the proper rhythm and everything. Jeff Williams loves using the same words and concepts across songs as leitmotifs. I find it very cool. A lot of red, moon, mirrors, shadows, etc. I wonder. Like, that was like an interesting way to say it, because I've always wondered, like, does he use those words because he was trying to like link them together thematically, or is it because he's just out of ideas? Because like a lot of RWBY characters just kind of had their arcs stripped away from them for no reason. Opinion on Mirror Mirror, the GOAT. It is the best RWBY song. That's not a question. Like, that's not an argument. And this is like one that is together with part 2. And when that happens, I will discuss my theory on this song. For the record, this person recommended Red Like Roses Part 2, Path to Isolation, Divide, Bad Luck Charm, When It Falls, I May Fall, and Miracle for the better lyrics. That is a lot of them. I will go through all of those, actually, for the sake of fun. Because I do have things to say about all of those. Oops. Yeah, no, Mirror Mirror is a really good song. The dynamic is interesting. I like this. Hold on, sorry, not to go back, but this little, like, this kind of like thundery sound here to transition to the violins. Very steady beat. The little, like, ornamentals, the harp, the piano. Like I said, there's a lot of ornamentation and detail in this song. Like that little, like, synth there. But this song has a lot of very distinct parts, which I think is very cool, especially because it was scoring something, right? Like, it's the background music to something, so it is as dynamic as the visuals. Red Like Roses is the same, by the way. This has always impressed me. I think that's a B5, which is pretty, that's like an opera note. Also, please more video essays. I'm working on one. There will be one next week. I'm almost done with it, I promise. I love the steady rhythm of it. I don't care if the lyrics are minimal. Like, you can very like, this is a very visual song, which I like. Like, the instrumentals are very visual. I don't know how else to say it. There's imagery in just the sheer sound of it. Not even the lyrics, it's the sound. Here's something interesting. It ends on a major note, even though it's in minor. That's a D major, I'm pretty sure. I like the lack of every line being screamed at the top of their lungs. Well, yes. Is it on Snow White / Daisy in general? It's on something else, actually. I will get to Snow White eventually, though. Yeah, I'm sorry I haven't put out many, like, video essays. It's just, like, I said earlier in the stream, I work in an office now, as opposed to working from home most days, so it's harder. And also, like, I spend time doing other things. I spend time with my friends, I spend a lot of time with my girlfriend, so... So, as we transition to Mirror Mirror Part 2, I have theorized for years Mirror Mirror the original was not written by Jeff Williams. Because this feels way too different. Even though it's going for the same thing. At the very least, it wasn't written entirely by him. Because, like, Mirror Mirror the original, like, everything's told through the sheer sonic palette of it, right? Like, the lyrics don't really tell you anything, it's all just the sound, the instrumentals. But this is, like, telling you everything, the instrumentals are kind of weird. Like, they're not nearly as detailed. They're not nearly as cohesive. So it's just a thought. I don't know any, if there's any validity to it. But, like, Mirror Mirror is like, dynamic, and it pulls you through the whole song. You're gripped the entire time. This just kind of meanders. And I know that the general mood is different. I think there's 2 different snares here, by the way. If you not hear them in like verse 2 or something. If I could just believe in me, by the way. It's funny because in the original, when it's like, when the original says, "Why won't you let me hide from me?" it sounds a lot more like almost natural than why can't I believe in me, myself. Here, so clap. Really weak snare. Really, like, default clap. Default snare. Default clap. Default snare. It's like a really compressed snare. Like, there's just nothing on it. Production's important. Production's really important. This song doesn't go anywhere. So I do want to talk about 2 other White songs, though. While we talk about production, my favorite... I don't remember who did the actual score for it, but it's not uncommon for the score composer and songwriter to both contribute to music that is actually used to score. It's possible. Yeah, so, Stomp Clap Hey. Where's my Stomp Clap Hey RWBY song? I'm surprised you even know that. Many times uncredited since only lyrics and songwriting credits. So, This Life Is Mine was my favorite RWBY song for a long time. And it's a great example of, like, the importance of production, because I still think that it has a great, like, structure. Like, the elements are there. This soft part, the piano is nice. I think it's a bit long. I'm sorry, we're gonna skip a little. There's not much to talk about for that first, like, minute.
There's a part of me that's desperate for
You hear, like, the subtle strings coming in.
tired of being treated
It's not too
like
loud.
a pawn. But there's a
But it's, like,
part of
starting
me
to
that
crescendo a little
stares
bit.
back from inside the
It's very tempered.
mirror. Part of me that's scared I might be wrong.
Like, neat chords going
that
on.
I can't be strong.
Like the arpeggios here. I really need one of those, like, studio headphones where, like, you hear every tiny thing that happened in production. you know, swells in. This is a good example of like how Casey's voice changed over time. This does not sound as well produced either as in the original Mirror Mirror, because there's nothing under it. Like it's just a little bit of, probably a little reverb, which kind of makes sense, because like she's singing this alone in like a concert type way. I think the tone doesn't, like, you can't really do much about the tone. I don't think it should be shouted like this. The song gave me so much hope for Weiss's character development that absolutely nothing happened for 3 seasons. Real. That's so real. Me too. And then when I was let's see, Volume 4 was 7 years ago. So I was 18, right? 17 or 18. I thought this was the coolest thing ever. I thought this was the coolest thing. But, okay, if my computer would unfreeze, that would be great. There we go. So, like, I just want to go back a little. The drums, it's the snare. Like, the snare feels too compressed. And, like, that sounds minor, but it's big. It's big. And like, hold on. The guitar is like too quiet. Like the backing guitar is too quiet. The drums are too loud. This is actually a good set of lyrics. Because, here, let me show you. Sorry. Born to live your legacy, existing just to fill your needs, a casualty of the so-called family that you have turned into a travesty. Like, do you see how the emphasis of the words land really well on that waltz beat? That's actually really good, because it flowed, like, I really like when words and music play off each other. Like, to me, that's what, like, lyricism is how words and music play off each other. And when you are able to link them up like that and it feels very natural, I think those are, like, the best kind of lyrics. Not saying these are the best lyrics I've ever heard, but it's very good technique in this like one little fragment of the song. This little like growl here. But I don't intend. I hear the bass is like just kind of plodding along. You know, it's just kind of, I hear like the. It's again like nothing interesting is happening. It's a very cool idea. Like, I will say it's a very cool idea. I just don't think it was executed as well as it could be. This is better because the guitar is a little louder, but, like, I think you can make the guitar kind of overbearing in this case. And, yes, ambiguous. This is, it is like when shows play licensed music, but it is made for the scene. RWBY music walked so Arcane music could fall on its face. And then the switch to 4/4 time, I don't think is a again, it's not a terrible idea, but like, why is this happening? You could say like, oh, it's to show like her free spirit, so she's like doing, you know, the instrumental sounds freer, like it's less constrained. But like, this is a very weird sounding solo. And the bass is being a little more interesting now. But like, what's with the like the harmony? Like, what's with the like ooze in the background here? I always like that. what are these harmonies? Again, it's how you get me in any song. Someone said, can you really compare RWBY music and Arcane music? After the song finishes, I will make some jokes, don't worry. Like, This Life Is Mine has a lot of really good parts, but, like, I'm not saying it's a bad song. It's not a bad song. It's very good. I think it could have been elevated into something even better with some better production. And that's why you need, like, a team, right? You need a team. You need all your producers, all your or not, like, you don't need, like, many producers, but get, like, a designated producer and mixer, mastering, somebody who really knows what they're doing. As for the Arcane comparison, RWBY music will be like, here, you know what? I do have my guitar just, like, on standby. RWBY music will be like, I'm red like roses and I'm gonna kill you and I'm so strong and I'm... Like that's RWBY music. And Arcane music is like, it will, like, strum over a really weird chord and it will be like, is class warfare really that bad a thing? I have a question. If you were tasked to make a character theme, what information or notes would you use to make that theme? That is actually a very interesting question. And this is another thing you're not going to like the answer to, feeling, vibe. What is, like, the aura of the character, right? That's the first thing you want to try to get at. And then the other thing is, like, what is the rawest emotion they would sing about? Like, what is the core of where they are in the story? Like, what is that frustration? Or, you know, the happiness, whatever it is. Like, what is driving them in that moment? What is their MO? When it comes to things like, you know, the way they speak. Like, yeah, that's important. But if you were making a song like this, you can kind of have some artistic liberty. You could take some artistic liberties and be like, okay, maybe she wouldn't say it like this, but I think this sounds really good. Like, if someone told you to make a RWBY song from scratch or a White song from scratch, what information about the characters would you need? The visual motifs that they work with is important. I've written many White songs in my life. And again, one day I will find them. And they are not good because I was a teenager. The one RWBY song I'm really proud of, that, like, I'm still proud of, is, do you remember Ilya, the chameleon girl? So I like, knew they weren't gonna write a good theme for her, so I was 18 or 19, and I just took matters into my own hands. And I came up with a song. And the song's verses are not very good, but the chorus is like, I want to use that chorus so badly in something. Also, somebody asked, Syndicate asked, if there's time, might you look at non-RWBY stuff? I might. You know, I don't have any plans later today. It's the day before St. Patrick's Day in Boston. It's the parade. There's probably 500,000 people in South Boston right now getting drunk. So I remember Ilya. I'm not sure if the writers do. Yeah, that's a good point. So the song, the chorus was, oh, I'm the rat in your vision, sting of indecision. What is it? Orange glow of the setting sun on the horizon as you run. When the flames surround you, I'm the gold. What is it? When the flames surround you, I'm the gold. Taking you captive, uncontrolled. As flames subside, the embers crack. I only wish we could go back. You and I against the world, hidden in the shadows black. It was something like that. Have I seen Volume 9's soundtrack? I actually haven't, and I do want to look at that today, because that was Casey's soundtrack, and she composed it after, you know, she was at Berklee College of Music, right here in Boston, and because of that, she was exposed to other types of music, and she, as far as I remember, she has a thing for progressive rock, which is really cool. It's actually my dad's favorite genre, is progressive rock. I also want to listen to Path to Isolation, because that's the other RWBY song where I'm like, no, this is just good. This is just good music.
With the unexpected loss of something dear.
What key is this in?
The warmth that comforted and cradled just disappears. And
I don't know what key that is.
is. There's nothing, just an
I'm trying to like do the math in my head, so that's B. It's in D. It's in D.
that showed the way is gone and darkness takes control. Bitterness and anger are quick to fill the void.
Yeah, something like that.
The path to
Like, this actually has some interesting dynamics in it, and it, like, some interesting, again, like, the ornaments, the details. Like, I think that's what really brings the best out of a song. Like, it's very much taking notes from Mirror Mirror.
seems to grow in my soul, it's consuming me.
I like this. I just want to point out, I like these kind of bouncing back and forth piano chords, because it feels like you're being pulled back and forth.
Seems to grow in my soul, it's consuming me.
Like, that's cool. That's really cool.
Confused, and I'm losing myself in the storm. Growing jaded, being pushed, being pulled, I'm unraveling.
This is a song that, like,
Myself when I'm constantly forced to
the lyrics are just good enough for these instrumentals to like, they are not doing the instrumentals any favors. The instrumentals are doing these lyrics a huge favor. Does that make sense? But yes, I've also always liked this song. Path to Isolation is probably the best RWBY has to offer after Volume 1. Like, if you take away the trailer music, this is the best RWBY has to offer. I think it changed key, actually, so I put my guitar down. Like, the guitar feels better mixed here. I still think it could be a little brought up. Turn up the vocals a little bit, turn up the guitar a little bit. Bring down the drums just a little bit. I think he just likes to overcompensate for the build on the drums for some reason. Oh, this line. Scars that cover wounds can't hide the self-inflicted pain. Casey had to come out and say this does not mean Weiss hurts herself. Because that's exactly what that lyric sounds like. And that's not what it means. It means that, like, she you know, is putting herself in situations that hurt her. Not that she's, like, physically injuring herself, but they had to explain that that's what that meant. And I feel like if you're gonna miss the meaning of a line, it should not be that one. Like, yeah, it's just Mirror Mirror with some extra drums, but who cares? I think it's a lot more cohesive in the mixing and the composition of it. And I don't think there's the annoying harmonies, so it works. I really like it. It never feels like 4 minutes. It always feels fast, which is cool. Now I actually want to listen to Volume 9's music. We will listen to Volume 9 in a second, because Hyla in my server sent in both of Neo's themes. So Neo has the song One Thing. Neo is another example of a character where, like, it was really cool when we didn't know anything about her, and then we learned about her, and then she was not cool anymore. And it was unfortunate. Is White Snow White or the Snow Queen? She's supposed to be Snow White. Very loosely. So, this song starts really good. I like that kind of dissonant chord on Time to Die. I like this drum beat. I don't like how then actually the cymbals coming in is fine. I think it would have been kind of cool on the toms, but whatever. And then, like, it just goes into this weird, like, poppy chorus, or like, these poppy chords, these kind of, like, higher chords, and she's like, woohoo! Lost without a voice and on my own. And then, like, the lyrics just aren't matching up. And then, like, again, these harmonies. Why are you using these, like, ninth harmonies? You've made that end. It's so, like, juvenile almost. You know what I mean? And it doesn't hold the weight it should. Yeah, Neo does have another song, and we're gonna listen to that after this. Like, this is such a cool verse. Like, the kind of thing that's going on the tom drums is really cool, and then it just kind of throws it out. Reparation for your... Wait, reparation for your crime? Is that how you use the word reparation? Like, we don't use it in like, common lexicon. We don't use it like that. Like, I'm sure it makes sense by definition, but it does not make sense by, like, convention. You know what I mean? Like, retribution is... It's already been used. But, like, retribution is the word we would put there. But yeah, Neo was very cool when we didn't know anything about her, and then Rooster Teeth was like, oh no, there's a book now, and in the book, she has a tragic backstory where she was, all these things happened, I think. I don't know, I don't remember anything. I just remember it was way less interesting than when we didn't know anything about her. Restitution, yeah, something like that. Like, reparation is like a payment you make. I've never thought of reparation being like, you know, an act. Disarray. Away. What is this? Have I never made it this far in the song? That's actually kind of funny. This bridge is mixed differently than the rest of the song. Hold on. Listen to this. Like, the entire production just changed. It's two different songs. These do feel very first draft-y. Which is a shame, because I think you could have done something really interesting with Neo. Like, instrumentally, because you're working with someone who's so, or was very mysterious and slick and, you know, quiet. I don't know. Could have gone with like a more menacing sound. And here I know she's genuinely angry, but I don't know. Neo to me always felt more like a roll up your sleeves and get it done kind of person than like a, I'm gonna scream my feelings out. What's the Neo song? The other Neo song? Chatterbox. Okay. I've never heard this one. So this is a totally fresh reaction. a cool beat. Oh, I dig this. Oh, this is sick.
Close to closure.
This is exactly what I was talking about. This, like, menacing, like, quiet vibe. These like synths kind of meandering, like not meandering, these synths kind of like building quietly and disappearing in the background, like they're stalking around you. Like, that's awesome. Yeah, it is kind of Guilty Gear-esque.
And suddenly scratch through the surface and you found a key.
No, this actually goes crazy. This like unironically goes crazy. Berkeley did this girl well. I definitely hear the prog influences. The drum work is great. It's changing a lot. It's carrying through the song well. It's giving a through line. But at the same time, it's making it in distinct parts, right? But it like ties it together at the same time. Because the guitar is changing a lot. The tone is changing a lot. As you know, you're delving into these different parts of Neo's psyche. Like, you're actually getting insight into who she is as a person. Casey, if you're watching this, I'm donating to Berkeley in your honor. No, I'm not. Maybe music schools are okay. This is just so wildly different than everything her father has put out. And it's so, like, I'm sorry, it's so much better. It's so much better. Like, I might listen to this, like, outside this stream. I'm very curious about her influences. Babe, there's a good RWBY song. I don't know if you heard her little yay. I like how she's okay. So, sorry, I'm vibing very hard, but I want to point out something. Do you notice how none of this is rhyming? In this like moment, like it's not really focused on rhyming or rhythm or meter. It's just going for it. Like, that's so good. I love it when like I feel that a lyricist is. It shows confidence in yourself as a lyricist when you're able to just like put what you want on paper and make it work. Like, the use of words is really, it's hard to say it, it's hard to explain, but like, words all have, every word in the English language has a certain quality to it. And those qualities contribute to a certain sound. And in lyrics, that is, like, it's the sheer sound of it, not even the meaning, but the sound and connotation we have with those words can really enhance the sound you're going for. Like, to use another RWBY song as like a counter example, All Things Must Die, which I guess we're gonna have to listen to that now. All Things Must Die has lyrics in it where it's like, let me find it. Did I just see like metal? Wait, hold on. Was that metal? Intense symphonic metal cover? What? Then what was the original? What's this? What's this? Is this not like intense symphonic? I know. Cosmo and Wanda, I hope that every epic, intense symphonic music cover channel gets snapped off YouTube. I don't actually mean that. I don't actually mean that. It's a joke. It's a joke. Like, this is a good counterexample. Where is it? Like, these lyrics don't work at your conclusion. Sing your swan song. Like, do you see how the sheer sound and connotation of those words is not matching the intensity of the instrumentals? Unkindness, murder, unkindness, conspiracy. Murder, like when you kill someone. Conspiracy, like when you secretly plan to do some grand thing to take somebody down. Unkindness, when I don't say thank you after you hold the door open for me. Like, do you see the problem here? At your conclusion, be with my essays. Hold on, now I need to listen to other... Oh. It's like, I don't want to listen to this. The volume 9... I want to listen to Chatterbox again, but I can't because we're streaming. The song's so good at being ominous, and then it just kind of throws it out the window. Yeah. Like a lot of RWBY. Like every RWBY villain. They start out ominous, and then we learn their backstory, and you're like, oh, you're just kind of pathetic. Like, you know why Roman was a good villain? Because they killed him before, like, they could ruin him. They used him for what he needed to be used for in the plot, and then they killed him. And I guess they gave him a backstory in Neo's thing later. But, no, please play it again. I want to play it again! I can accept murder and conspiracy, but I draw the line at being rude. I mean, hey, if we ask the people in the last stream, being a little bit rude is the worst thing you could be. So, but here I'm actually being nice. I'm being fair. I just said I'm being fair. I'm sorry. The difference in quality between All Things Must Die and Chatterbox is actually absurd. I like the idea that he sent his daughter to music school and then she came back and she just completely, like, outshone him immediately. Always knew she had it in her. I feel bad for her though, because, like, she was really primed and groomed. Not like in that way. Like, she was groomed, like she was you know, taught to, like she was being primed to be the next RWBY music person, and she got her one volume and then, like, Rooster Teeth just exploded. And it's like, okay, what now? Divide is an interesting one. I saw somebody recommend it.
Does it feel good knowing you tried, knowing that all that remains is the slow, cold, brutal death of the bullets of a long-dying vein?
This is fine.
Does it feel knowing your efforts will fail? All that
Her band is doing well? Oh, that's good. Jeff didn't go to music school? I don't know. I know he was, like, an assistant professor at Berkeley to teach some software. He wasn't, like, a songwriting professor. Like, he just taught, like, how to use Ableton or something. Yeah, she is doing Sonic music now, which is, you know what? She deserves it. That was my dream when I was 12, and I hope it was hers. I'm glad her band is doing well. Music school is an interesting thing to me. I didn't go to music school. That's like my dark secret, right? Is I didn't go to music school. I'm a civil engineer. I think music school is, like, it's great for connections and it's great for kind of building, like, a professional repertoire. Berkeley has an unfortunate reputation for kind of, when it comes to composition at least. I actually did almost apply to composition school, like for film scoring. And my teacher at the time said I could have gotten into Berkeley very easily. But I've heard that, like, the people coming out of that department, they all sound the same. I don't know if their songwriting department is similar. And that's a problem some people have with music schools. I really think it's one of those things where, like, it magnifies what's there. Yeah, Berkeley does have a lot of issues. I think that music school is like, you know how Captain America is like, you know, they put him in the chamber and it like enhances like what was there already, like, you know, the power of his heart or whatever, like, you know, the determination and the tenacity and all that stuff. Like, I think that music school is similar in that, like, if you do not have that X factor to begin with, if you don't have that passion and that drive and that raw talent, I don't think it's going to do much. But I think if you do have those things, it's going to be great. Oh yes, yeah, Casey did a song for that Sonic miniseries. Listen, when I saw that Sonic miniseries, I turned to my girlfriend, I'm like, this is my Arcane, okay? This is my Arcane. This is an interesting song because it's another thing where it's like, oh, there are good ideas here. But the thing about potential is you never have to prove it, right? You never have to prove that you have good potential. People could just say that about you for the rest of your life. Oh, you have potential. And similarly, this song has potential. I think the use of 6/8 time is very menacing. I like this quiet part here. Because, I like it when there's an attempt to carry a story through the song. But I don't know if RWBY ever really does that. Like, when it comes to writing a theme for something, when you're really telling a story, like you're doing a character theme, you have to really delve into a specific thing. Don't try to capture their entire character in one song. That will not work. Unless you're really, really talented, I guess. But, like, it's always going to resonate more if you focus on one specific thing and you dive into it and you're able to tease out a lot of detail from it. Whoa. Sorry, that was my neck.
It was you who ended the life they meant to take our breath.
I also like this song because it presents, like, this cool idea, and they just did it where it's like, oh, Ozpin is just, like, leading the students to their deaths. And then, like, they never did anything with it. I remember when I was 16, I did a version of When It Falls. And, there are still some lyrics in there I'm actually happy with. Like, the second verse was like, black descends from shadows, always watching from the gallows. Something in, like, shrouded in its... What was it? It was like something in its history and perpetual mystery or something like that. Oh, I forgot this part. This is actually good. Yeah, black descends from shadows, always watching from the gallows. Perpetual mystery. And then I rhymed that with Pyrrhic Victory later on, and I felt like the coolest person alive. You had to be there for the Volume 3 finale in 2016. February 2016. You had to be there. I think it was February 2016. It was the most lit thing in my life, up until that point, probably. They forgot most of the plot lines. It's... What does Rister say? They forgot most of the plot lines they started, yet still managed to feel like nothing happened for a few seasons in the middle. Yeah, usually when you forget a plot line, it's because you're busy doing something else, and they just kind of did nothing. Fascinating, truly. Genuinely, Volume 3 was so cool when it came out, and then Volume 4 was just walking around. It was walking and talking and sitting around. Real. RWBY is such an interesting cultural phenomenon because, like, there are so many people who have, like, the RWBY brain parasite. Like, not like a brain worm. It's like a full-on brain parasite, which I guess, you know, worm is a parasite, but, you know. And they, like, haven't left that mind space. And they're just, like, stuck in the RWBY. I've never actually seen RWBY. There's no point in watching it now that, like, it's not happening in real time, I think. Like, I truly think you had to be there. It's not like it's worth it, right? It's not like it's this grand story that you're missing out on. It's not like you've missed out on Lord of the Rings or something. Like, you had to be there for the camaraderie of the frustration that surrounded RWBY. You could read one of, you know, 100,000 awful fan fictions that exist for RWBY, and maybe there's 3 good ones. RWBY had, like, a real aesthetic to it for a hot minute, then it didn't. It's the guy who starts the long argument in the musical channel on Discord. Very nice. I like seeing long arguments happen in my Discord. What else is a Volume 9 song I should listen to? Let's see, RWBY, Volume... The haters being more invested in the show than the fans, it was an interesting phenomenon. Yes, okay. That was fascinating to me. Like, RWBY critics, I used to be, like, involved in that sector, too. RWBY critics are wildly obsessed with the show. It's all they think about. They can't make their own stuff. Like, they'll make their own book or whatever, or their own story, and it's just RWBY. It's just RWBY again. They'll be like, no, it's totally original, but also the main character is this short girl with short black hair and a dress, and then she has an older sister who's taller and has long blonde hair. And I'm like, wow, this is... I wonder what this was inspired by. Let's see. Red Like Roses Part 3. All right. Oh, Guide My Way. Okay. Casey, do your thing. What's your opinion on Guide My Way? Well, we'll see. I've never listened to it. Yeah, I was like a hardcore RWBY critic. And, those people are insane, I'm sorry. Vibing with us. This is very, like, 2000s alt. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Every RWBY critic also has their own rewrite, and they're all worse, which has always impressed me, because it's not like, you know, you're starting high. This is a very pretty song. I like the use of negative space. It's very interesting to hear how Casey uses her voice when she calls the shots. I like her low range. Is RWBY's plot well written? No. Absolutely not. It's not really the point of it. am what inspired the fairy tale. That is a pretty killer line. This does not go as crazy as Chatterbox, but it's not really trying to go crazy, you know? It is very good. Ooh, this is cool. I love this breakdown. I hear like these tiny little plucks in the background. That's kind of like if you were kind of playing with like I'm blanking on the name, but it's a technique with the guitar. But yeah, Ruby Critics. I've done music for Ruby Critics. Like that's how deep I was in this. Yeah, it's a good drop. Yeah, it does feel like kind of toned down Riot Girl. And I don't think it's trying to be full Riot Girl, though. Like, that's not the point of this song. This has, like, a different soul to it. This is really cool. This is really cool. That is pretty awesome, I gotta say. Oh, do you guys want to hear my like, the music I made for Ruby people? Like, Ruby Critic people? It's not nearly this good, but I can show it to you. It was written a few years ago. You just don't have to see my recommendeds. Yeah, alright, let me pull it up. The Atom theme. The Atom theme I'm not as proud of. Because I was just told to do, like, generic rock, and I did that. I think I have better songs. And I do have, like, unlisted videos somewhere, but I'm lazy and I don't want to pull them up. So I'm just going to go into my files. You can listen to it there. I think I wrote this in like an hour. I'm happy with it. A little post-rocky. Yeah, no, I made all the music for that. That wasn't licensed. It's just that working with the dude was a pain. I stopped working with Ruby Critic people because I got kicked off a project for saying that I didn't want, like, a really weird, disturbing, sexist joke. Like, I didn't want that in production. Am I gonna make a video on the live-action Snow White songs? I think my hands are tied. I think I have to. Like, I don't think that I have an option. It's just I really want to finish the video I'm working on. And I promise. The thing is, the video I'm working on isn't even relevant. I think this was like, I was just learning how to use FL Studio. Did you hear capabilities unseen from Ice Queendom? I forgot Ice Queendom existed. That was like a fever dream. Ever listen to Silent Hill songs? I have not. I don't play horror games in general. Yeah, no, I think this does sound like, again, I don't think it's a masterpiece. I think it sounds pretty good. Could I do better now? Yeah. This feels like Sonic music, but less friendship focused and more I'm a badass, like if Shadow was an anime girl. Reminds me of Frontiers. This is written in 2021. I don't think I played Frontiers. I've never played Frontiers, so. Oh, I'm sure Silent Hill 2 is good music. I like video game music from like that era where they had like access to better instruments, but it hadn't turned into like Nintendo mush yet. You know what I mean? But there was like another song I remember I really liked writing it. It's so Sonic. It's funny because like I like never even considered it like that. But I think that I listened to Sonic music so much, it's such like a pivotal point in my development that like all of my music is now just Sonic music. But yeah, like this one, I was really happy with it. Oh, let's skip ahead a little. But like, let's skip ahead a little. But like half of the song is this because in the actual video, he spent like a full minute talking about like a weapon design or something, and I just had to do this. What was this for exactly? It was for fixing RWBY. I used to be part of that production. And it was not fun. And I regret it now. But like then this song has this later. And I'm like, oh, I love how this sounds. Define Nintendo mush. I'll show you what Nintendo mush is in a second. See, I like this. I'm happy with some of the music I made for that. So what is RWBY's target audience? It's a good question. In terms of the audience, it found people. Okay, so in terms of the people who watched it, who watched it genuinely, it was pretty varied. As far as RWBY critics went, it was people who thought they could do better than it and could not. It was kind of like, sorry, this is gonna sound mean, but it's like, oh, there's finally a kid smaller than me on the playground. You know, it's one of those things, and it just had a very nasty vibe to it. And also, a lot of RWBY critic people that are still kicking are like, have very concerning morals. I'll say that. Like this music, it's nice. Oh, I appreciate that. What was I gonna look up? Oh yeah, what I call like Nintendo mush. Sorry to Splatoon for a second, like, but this is Nintendo mush. This is like, okay, we have a general sound we're going for. Now let's just smash some things together and call it a day. And like, here's a violin that is just kind of randomly doing whatever it wants. So, if you're still a RWBY hater in 2025, you need to seek help. You really do. Let Moo Moo Meadows. Yeah, that's Nintendo mush. I would also say like, Penny's theme from Scarlet and Violet is Nintendo mush. This. It's wild seeing the comments and people are like, yo, banger song, this goes crazy, and it's like the worst synth I've heard in my life. I cannot picture this sounding good. But yeah, that's Nintendo mush. But then it has like one part with like a decent melody and people are like, oh yeah, this goes crazy, and it's like around here somewhere. I feel like Pokemon sounds have taken a dip after Gen 7. Oh, they absolutely have. This sounds like a unfinished 1000 Gex song. That is brutal. Yeah, Pokemon music, it's been rough since after Gen 7. There are some Pokemon songs where like I remember liking them back in the day, and then I listened to them again and I'm like, why is this not as good? And I realize it's because they don't let themselves develop at all. Sorry, this is no longer RWBY stream, this is now me talking about Pokemon. Like, this has a really good riff. I like this a lot. But then it just goes away from it. Like, you could have repeated that melody and, like, built it up. Or you could stay on this a little longer than you actually do, because this is also good, and then, like, it switches here. But this switch does not feel natural from, like, the B part that we just heard. Like, this B to C part does not feel natural. Reject RWBY, return to Pokemon. Oh, I always do. And then, like, this doesn't feel like it belongs either. But yeah, when it comes to, like, let's go back to RWBY thing. When it comes to, I heard some people saying, like, oh, the music that I wrote for fixing RWBY sounds kind of Sonic-y. You need to listen to the music I make for myself now. Hold on a second. You're not ready for this. Does this have vocals on it? I don't know if this has vocals. It does. You guys aren't listening to my singing voice yet. But, some of these songs, I swear, like, it's just Sonic but rock again. And I didn't even realize at first. I need to find the instrumentals of these songs. Okay. Yeah, this was the instrumental of that song. And it's like, oh, this is just Sonic Butt Rock is Arctic Monkeys for kids. Listen. Listen. And from, yeah. I think Sonic music is good. Sonic music is fun. Sonic music knows it's stupid. And it just, like, leads into it, and I love it for that. RWBY music, I feel like, took itself too seriously. Like, it was really trying to be something. It was trying to, like, give insight into a show that had no insight to give. What's crazy is that I don't listen to Sonic as much anymore. Like, that often. Like, rarely I listen to Sonic. I do listen to a bit more pop punk these days, but, I'm not sure, like, again, this is just, something like this is just injected into my bloodstream at this point. No, I am also, like, not to be like, I agree, this sounds great, but I am proud of it. This movement, the movement is so Sonic. Dude, all of my songs, they just could be Sonic, like, they sound like Sonic Rejects. I'm sure RWBY also played a part in this sound, like, the sound I have now. What song should I listen to next? RWBY. I guess I, just have to keep going. We have to power through. But after Chatterbox, it's like, where do we go from here? Inevitably, we all return to the fandoms we liked when we were 13. Yeah, but like you have to embrace it. Trapdoor. Okay. All right, let's listen to this. Put my little ditty aside and go to this. I used to like Ignite so much, and now I can't stand it. We will listen to Ignite next, then. For you. By the way, I don't know if you guys have noticed on the stream itself, I have a little frog butt above the chat, because, you know, its cheeks are peak. She's a very interesting ear for drums. This is really good. It's very well balanced, I think. She's, again, like, she's a lot more confident in her songwriting abilities, I feel. She's a lot more willing to experiment. She's a lot more willing to just throw something down on paper and go with it. Like, I can tell, because some people, they get very caught up in like, their perfection, like the perfectionism. And they don't know how to just throw something down on paper and make something of it later. I feel like Casey is able to do that. Because you can let yourself be metaphorical and weird and a little vague, and it's fine. It doesn't sound good. This is really good. Like, you haven't noticed, I haven't made a comment on the lyrics of these songs, like, directly. I haven't said, like, oh, that's a good or bad single lyric, because they flow really well with the music. And bad lyrics, like, you notice them. Music's too loud? Okay. So what I'm saying is that, like, when lyrics are bad, you notice them. Like, bad lyrics are something you pick out with your ear. They will take you out of the song. But all of the lyrics here flow really nicely with the music in like a purely like audio sense. So even if there's lyrics that aren't like perfect, I don't pick them out. I really like her use of synths, like the way she mixes electronic sounds with more organic instruments to create like a real atmosphere to a song. she doesn't really let the songs like fly off the handle unless, like they feel very controlled. It feels like she's being very deliberate, I think is the word. No, I'm not listening to Forever Fall. What is I listening to next? Ignite? Yeah. Again, we're in for a real switch in quality.
Hello there, my enemy. Welcome to my punching spree. This is where I lay waste and you'll go home bleeding. Didn't have to be this way. Should have stayed out of the fray. Now you're heading for a beating.
Yeah, Casey's music is, sorry, now I have to... That's what I'm saying, like, you'll notice being damaged how you'll end this day. You pick that out when you hear it.
I gotta tell you I'm on fire today.
Casey's music feels more like... Let me pause this so I can think. Casey's music feels very controlled in that, like, she clearly has a wider frame of reference for how to communicate certain emotions compared to her father, because her father kind of has, like, two modes. Her father has, like, this, and her father has, like, soft piano ballad, and that's kind of it. Like, there are a few exceptions here and there, but Casey is a lot more willing to explore different sounds to get the right feeling for a scene, which is what somebody in her role should be doing.
Yet every mistake they spark suffers with judgment and pain. But just as light conquers darkness, the beauty that's greater than symmetry can contain.
I really like how the song is just like, the lyrics are stupid, and then it goes into, yet every misshapen spark, but just as light conquers dark, there's a beauty that's greater than pure symmetry can contain. And like, where is this coming from? Why is there horns? Bemoan your mistake of a life. Like, that you hear that. I know the misshapen spark line is a reference to the yellow trailer, but it is very awkward. Like, just because it makes sense, sort of, it doesn't mean you should use it. Or, like, find a better way to say it. Listen to the Yoshi clan from Yoshi's New Island. I already know that one, my friend. You can't fool me. The random jazz band. I think another aspect of Casey's music that's different is that Jeff focuses more on these, like, kind of, you know, I'm really cool and I'm gonna beat you up themes, while Casey's trying to hit at something more complex and emotional. There's a gradient between RWBY, Sonic, and Metal Gear Rise. RWBY music is very fascinating because there's, like, no genre. Like there's no genre. It's not hard enough to be it's not hard enough to be heavy metal. It's not interesting enough to be alt metal. Like, it's not dynamic enough to be alt or new metal or something. It's not experimental enough to be, like, progressive rock. It's not, it's like not committal enough to be butt rock. Like, what were they thinking here? It's just very, it really is its own thing because it's just noise. I don't know what genre it would fall into. Like, it's not punk. It's not hard rock, because this doesn't sound like a Guns N' Roses song or anything. like hard rock is a little more blocky than this.
I dominate and desecrate, leave you in a foul state, put you in the trash with
Leave you in a foul state. Yeah. Don't you know I'm wild, bro? I like how the he's too quiet for the jazz band underneath. It's a big rap battle. Well, yeah, because every time there's a RWBY song with a rap in it, it's always like, again, the like Dr. Seuss rhyme scheme of like A A B B A A B B. I love how the rap just like throws people off. What was the point of that? A good question. I asked that there's a lot of RWBY songs where I'm like, yeah, what was the point of that? It is a very valid question. I don't know. I don't know why that would be the choice. It's definitely baffling. Oh my gosh, does the Nevermore song... Okay, Nevermore, does it still have the top comment that it had years ago? Years and years ago, there was a top comment on Nevermore, and it was like, I want them to sing this to my bullies. And I was like, oh. Anyway, what's chat saying? The rap in the middle of Sky is Falling? There's a rap in the... Wait, hold on. Was this from Volume 8? I don't remember this song. Me when I have to listen to a RWBY soundtrack after Volume 3. Like, why is that major ninth harmony there? Or whatever it is. Like, why is it a happy harmony? I know I keep bringing it up, but it's in so many songs. Me when I watch Volume 8, I don't remember anything from Volume 8, actually. Somebody tell me what happened in Volume 8. Oh wait, that's the one where they turn Penny into a real person and then kill her immediately, right? There's the Jeff Williams we all know. Random shreds and altered scale runs for no reason. You kind of have to have a reason for doing something that sounds bad in a song. I remember that Singers to My Bullies line. I wonder how that person's doing now. Me too, I hope they're doing well. As evil misery steals our lives. It's a Guilty Gear song to tone down. I love the chat here. Misery. Yeah, it's like a 1800s poem. Misery. Like a little comma in there. Well, or excuse me, a little apostrophe. Bro,
Watch my life flash by in scenes, and it seems there's no soul on the video screen, but I'm green trying to figure out what all of it means. Staring at the casket, hoping to move past it, knowing things will never be the same, and that's it. Close soaked as a
This
sin in
dude
the rain,
thinks
feeling nothing
he's
but
the
pain.
Knuckles rap guy from Sonic Adventure. He's not. He's not even that.
Lose it. All my sanity slipping away. Oh Lord, press record. I die without the music. Each breath is closer to my death, except that which is this life is none left.
And like, I love rap. Like, I love good rap. It's an art form. It really is. Just saying. Little piano. One of these days, I want to like FL Studio compose something in front of a stream, but like I don't know if my computer can physically handle that. I think it would explode. This guy will never be the rest of them, the best of them, tougher than leather. They call me Knuckles. I'm like Sonic. I don't chuckle. I'd rather flex my knuckles. He'll never be that. No, the rapping in Linkin Park is better than this, that's for certain. Was Sonic Adventure music was so good. It was. It was good. It is very campy. It is camp. All right, what's another one? Give me another RWBY song shot. Quiet. Is that a RWBY song, or are you telling me to shut up? Nah, I'm just messing. Undone for me is unironically good. No, it is. Again, it's camp. Volume 9 song, so I've never heard it. It's a John song. That if you told me that like 5 years ago that it was a John song, I would never listen to it. I don't think anything has beat Chatterbox for me, but we'll see. Sorry, I can't keep that joke going for too long, or else it's gonna put a little dent in my head. I think there's already one. Yeah. Does this go anywhere? Please tell me if this goes anywhere. How long is it? It's almost 5 minutes. I'm sorry, please tell me this goes. Okay, there's such a thing as too slow. It's fine. It's fine. I want to listen to Checkmate.
Welcome to the show. Are you ready to go? With your swords up high and your guns down low. Have you come for the action? Come for the sport. There's a million ways to spill blood in the court. It's a free for all.
That's a cool lyric. That's a really cool lyric. Hold on, I want to hear that again.
Free sport.
really good lyric. This is Lone Digger by Caravan Palace. Don't be mean. Don't be mean. If it does turn into Electro Swing, you're right, that's bad. No! Okay, it's not Electro Swing, okay? It's not like you're listening to a Living Two song, which is good. Like, it isn't as bad as a Living Two. It's not bad, actually. It's not bad at all. But fandom's music has truly poisoned Electro Swing. Good bass work, at least. What? Like, you see, that's a bad lyric. That's like, takes me out of it. That, I'm the teacher, you're the class, get your notebooks out, give that note a pass. Oh, her Sonic song. I didn't remember liking that one too much. I love this, like, AMV this person made. This is so, like, of its, it's not even of its time. Like, this is like an homage to, like 15 years ago we would have done this. Why does every fan song use Electro Swing? I wish I knew. Maybe it's because they all want to be Living Tombstone, or because it's like a good genre for teenagers with no attention span. The watermark at the bottom. This little AMV is killing me. It's so cute. Electro Swing is the Subway Surfers of music. Please, somebody put that on a plaque. Not of its time, of its age bracket. Correct. Hey, this guy's more subscribers than I do, that's all I'm saying. I think Casey would be great at doing more Sonic. I think she should have opportunities to be more experimental. Give her something she can really, like lean into. Like, I think the reason why the Neo song is so good is because there's a lot of, like, aesthetic to work with Neo. Like, there's a lot going on that you could really try to get into her head and kind of make up your little theories about, you know, what her deal is. You know, it's very hard to make a good song when you're not given anything to work with. Like, you know, not every, but like, when I would rewrite RWBY songs, like make up RWBY songs and things like that, the character I always had the easiest time writing for was Weiss, because Weiss had enough to work with. Like, she had an aesthetic, she had a MO, she had a backstory, she had, like, potential conflict. Whereas, like, I would never write a song for RWBY because I had nothing to work with. Or, like, you know, Blake was, like, her entire shtick was, like, too shaky to work with. Neo has something to work with. Like, it's, and I don't even think it's, like, a skill thing. It's just kind of what you're given. Like, it's a good pitch. You get a good hit off of it. It's not like a fault to her as a songwriter that she couldn't do much with certain characters, because, like, what is she supposed to do? You know, it's the whole problem with hold on, I'm reading the chat. Yeah, it's the same problem, you know, we've seen with, like, Disney music the past year. or more. It's that you have these people who are good songwriters for the most part, but they aren't given anything to work with, so they work with nothing. The reason why like a lot of pop music these days is good is because it's working with something. Like, these people are writing about their experiences. That's something. That's a thing to work with, right? I wish I could show you guys some pop music, but like, again, my stream would be shut down so fast. Yeah, you need to have good writers to have good songwriters. You need to have good writers to have good writers in general. Yeah, cooking with water. Quote me. Like, people gave Wish a lot of shit. And like, deservedly so, right? I don't think Julia Michaels is a bad songwriter, like, in and of herself, right? I don't think she's a problem, like, her existence is a problem. I think a pop songwriter could make a good musical with the right guidance, and if they had a thing to be inspired by. If you asked me, age 17, to write an entire album about Weiss, I could have done it. And I probably have enough songs to do it. But if you asked me to write an album about RWBY, I wouldn't even know where to start, because it's like, what is she? It's 3. I've been going for 2 hours. Anybody else have any recommendations? Things to listen to? Because I still have a lot of people in the you know, I see a lot of viewers, so I do want to keep going. I want to keep the momentum up, even as I slowly fade away. Have I done Indomitable? I don't remember liking Indomitable. Is that the one that feels like it lasts 17 minutes? Indomitable RWBY. More Pokemon songs? I could do more Pokemon songs. There are still 3 Volume 9 songs. I'll listen to them another time. Alright, syndicates. We will do your submissions on a submission stream, because I want to be able to give my, like, absolute focus to it. And I want to be at, like, full energy and focus when I'm looking at people's songs, like, that they send in.
But nothing was what it seemed. Sometimes that's how gods roll. We'd sit for hours, he'd share his plans to build a universe.
This is what I mean, that, like, Jeff only has 2 modes, where it's like, I'm the coolest and I'm gonna beat you up, or like, this is sad, because I feel like a tribute to a real person should be more aligned with that person's personality, and I know that, like, I don't have a say in this, obviously. Like, I didn't know the guy, but, like, make it a little bit more personal, like, a little bit more than just kind of, like, sad, generic piano. You could submit songs on Discord or my email. I don't know, this song's just very boring to me, and that's a shame because it's about a real person. We should figure out what RWBY's vibe is. Is it butt rock? I don't think it's butt rock. That's the confusing thing. It's like I said, it doesn't commit to being butt rock. It doesn't commit to being bad. You know? Like, it doesn't commit to having fun. Like if you listen to, like, you know, like Nevermore, right? This is a better song. Oh my gosh, this song takes like 3 business days to get through the chorus. RWBY's vibe is like a middle-aged man trying to figure out what, like, teenage girl rage is. It's like if a middle-aged man tried to write Olivia Rodrigo. Palatable rock, yeah. My girlfriend calls it non-committal core. What about Bite Me from Murder Drones? I don't know what that is. That's not relevant today. Maybe next stream. You know what he's trying to do? And this came out way after. But he's trying to do this. I'm gonna try for a sec. But he is trying to capture, like, that kind of raw teenage sound. But it's kind of like, you know how, like, Blink-182 or Simple Plan will put out albums despite the fact that they're, like, 50? It's like that. The stream didn't get shut down, so that's good. Ooh, Lionized. I remember that one. This one's a mess. Also, it frustrates me how many RWBY songs take, like, a third of their runtime to get going. It's just really slow until that point. Like, it's still... It's 3 minutes long, we're 40 seconds in. Nothing's happened yet. There we go. And it's not even like a... It's not even like you're listening to, like, a System of a Down song where, like, at least it's interesting to me. I don't think Jeff should be allowed to sing. Is that mean? Does that mean to say? I don't know. I'm gonna leave goodbye. Have a good night. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up soon. Because I am fading. It's such like a pathetic sounding belt. Like, it sounds like me when I'm pathetic and oppressed. It doesn't sound scary. It sounds like a teenage boy. It's so nebulous. Like, I found it interesting when they got Caleb Hiles, who I also don't like the voice of. But at least it sounds better. But then, like, you still hear Jeff's harmonies in the background, and it sucks. Yeah, they did get Caleb. And they used his lower range, so it doesn't, like, sound horrible. It actually sounds pretty good. Yeah, this is really close to Sonic music. I don't know why this made it. Like, why this is so close to Sonic music. Metal I'll deploy, our enemies destroy. But, like, it sounds better. Yeah, it's when he goes high. I think his low range sounds good. good. He is not the tenor he thinks he is. It's like Benson Boone. Like Benson Boone's, he thinks he can hit these like high notes, and it just kind of sounds like yodeling. I think Caleb has a similar problem. I know that he has some songs where he hits like ridiculous notes, and like I know he hits like an F5 in one cover he did, and it just doesn't sound good to me. To me, it doesn't sound good. Yeah, the chat's fading too. I'm getting tired. I could talk Pokemon music for a little bit as like a palate cleanser while we wrap up. His voice is more emotional. It's more committed to pushing out the line, so it's more Crush 40 coded. Yeah, because that's the thing, right? Is like you listen to a Crush 40 song. You listen to like Night of the Wind, which I think I've played on stream before. I love this song. And you skip ahead a little. I'll run into the heat of day. Like he's really pushing those lyrics out there. In the rain, each and every. I'm also convinced that because I listened to this music too much as a kid, my voice is now like just this when I sing. The sword slashing through me every inch of the power you. Like he really throws himself into those lines. Night of the Peak. That would a Sonic stream would be awesome. Does the AI Churro Sonic count as Nintendo mush? It's not as Nintendo mush, no. Like Kieran's theme is Nintendo mush. I would not say Arby's or the AI. Interesting question. Do you think that unique emotions like the ones you mentioned are something songwriters can learn to embody and properly portray, or is it just something that can't be imitated? I think it's kind of like writing. I think that as you go out and like learn how the world is and interact with people and you just live, you are better able to capture those emotions in your work. If you just kind of hide away from everything and you don't interact with people and all you read is like fan fiction, you will not learn how that works. I don't think it can be imitated. I think you just have to know it. Like, you can learn it the same way you can like learn empathy. Does that make sense? And it's like the whole thing of like, oh, write what you know. I think that when people say write what you know, they don't mean like, oh, write military tactics that you studied for 3 years on Wikipedia. I think they mean like, when you learn how people work, you will be able to write them better. Someone who's isolated is great at writing about isolation. Someone who's seen more can write about it well. Yeah, that's true. But the thing is that, like, just because you haven't been through those things doesn't mean you can't capture them in your work. It just means you have to learn how to understand it. Don't write your life experiences. Do not write your life experiences, because you will only write yourself. You are one person and you have had one life. If you learn to empathize with other people and you learn what makes them tick and how they work, and you learn the absolute variety of human states, you know, the variety of lives and experiences people can have, your writing will become so much richer because you're not just writing yourself over and over and over. Does that make sense? Because, like, there are people who only write their life experiences and they just write, you know, themselves in fanfics in 50 different AUs with the same ship, with the same conflict over and over again. And if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But if you're trying to elevate yourself as an artist in any way, as a writer, as a songwriter, as a musician, as a painter, you have to go out there and learn. Like, a lot of famous authors from back in the day, they weren't like people who sat at home and all they did was world build, right? Like, they were scholars and explorers, and they were you know, spouses and parents and soldiers and all these things, historians, scientists, like It's better to write the emotion or the situation you know. Knowing what rage looks like and how it feels in yourself and others is how you write it. Yeah, but it's the others part that's crucial, because you don't feel rage the same way everybody else feels rage. If you only know like what you yourself feels and you don't understand how it feels on other people, you're just going to write 100 versions of yourself, and you're never going to be able to write like these rich stories or soundtracks or just singles like that have like variety. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, exactly. Tolkien was many different things before Lord of the Rings. It's like when you talk to people and you really bond with them and you try to understand them, you see where their mindset is and how their mindset can be different than yours. I've been dating my girlfriend for 5 years, and you still learn every day little things about your partner. So I know how she ticks, what makes her work, right? It's not like me. Like we've been together 5 years and we love each other a lot and we get along great and we have great chemistry. But her brain works differently than mine. It's just that I can understand it. I can put myself in her shoes and she can put herself in mine, and we acknowledge that we are not the same as each other. Musical anthropology, digital anthropology. Yeah, it's a basis of empathy. It's just understanding that other people are different and have different mindsets. Like if all your characters in a story have the same mindset, they will all feel like the same person. But that's not true. Everybody has their own logic. Everybody just works differently. I'm late, what's happening? We just got into, somebody asked a really good question about like, can you learn to write emotion in a song? Like, can you learn to imitate writing emotion? Or is it something you have to learn how to do, like, genuinely? And we've just been having a discussion about that. Yeah, exactly. It's about building an image of something based off an empathetic or sympathetic information that you've gathered. That's how I do it, at least. But like when I'm writing a song that's not about me and my experiences, I just try to put myself in the shoes. I know it's cliche, but like I just try to put myself in the shoes of the character. But not just how I would react to it. If I had their logic, how would I react to it? That's the difference. Because the way I react is not going to be how this character reacts based on how their logic would work with considering like the rest of their life up to that point, right? Like me and my girlfriend come from very different backgrounds. The way that we see certain things is very different. Yeah, it's kind of like method acting. So when she's in a situation that is troubling, let's say, and I'm trying to put myself in her place, I shouldn't do it from like my perspective. I should do it from her perspective. Because she isn't me. That's the big difference. It's don't put like it's not even like putting yourself in their shoes. Like put yourself in their head. And understand where they're coming from. Like if you have, it's kind of like, if one person comes from a wealthy background and one person comes from a poor background, the way that they see certain things in the world are very different. Like the way they see $20 is very different. It's not enough to say like, oh, if I was in your situation, I would do this. That's my theory, anyway. Back to Sonic. I would love to do a Sonic stream with you guys. I want to talk about Sonic music, but like again, another stream. That might be like the stream after the next one. But it's not even a question of cheap or peak. Like, it's peak. We all know this. This is the best thing ever. Best song ever written. We need to have that conversation. Like a knife, I'll fight till the fight is won. In a rage, I'll say each and every one. Like, it's so stupid, but it's so good. It's true by the side. It's so fun. My back is killing me and I'm tired. Yeah, even the soundtrack from 06 is really good. The soundtrack from 06 is excellent. Like that, when we do that stream, I'm gonna go through a lot of 06 songs. Like, I'll prepare a playlist because, like, those songs are insane. It's weird the song music is so over the top but deeply emotional. Like, yeah, because it's committing. It's committing to the bit. Like, it's... you just gotta go for it sometimes. Like, you have to put aside the fear of cringe and be like, oh, I'm writing about Sonic. It can't be cool. I have to, like... Maybe that's what it is with RWBY music, is it's like, it feels like it's trying to compensate for the fact that it's about RWBY. But, like, no, just go for it. Be stupid. Write another Path to Isolation. Be, like, over-dramatic. But also be a good songwriter. That's, you know, key. I'm going to play, like, one more song of mine, I guess. And just, like, chill. Is it... While I, like, I don't even know. I just need to, like, cool down, like, after a run. Yeah, Embrace the Stupid. This song was me embracing the stupid. I love this song. It's one of mine. When I was unemployed, I considered auditioning for Berkeley, and I would have used this song. Growing tired of these all apologies. Everyone will ramble with their own philosophy. I'm sure that when you're gone, they'll take their chance to strike. Preach their valued lessons like all greater than the light. It's just how the world works. We all spin that roulette. Sometimes the odds don't have the cards. It's just a closing act. It's just how the world works, and all I think about till I just look these crazy things. It doesn't matter now. Doesn't matter now. You just gotta love what you do. You gotta love the songs you write. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, I hate everything I write. I don't think that's true, because you keep doing it, right? If you truly hate everything you do, you wouldn't do it. You hate the process, you love the reward. And that's what it's about. Like, when I finished it, I was in voice lessons at the time, actually. And I had just switched teachers, and she was a Berkeley grad. Like fresh out of songwriting grad. And I brought the song to her, and I sang it for her, and she's like, there was nothing wrong with this song. And, like, that felt incredible. Yeah, I cringe at everything I write, too, and it's still proud. Because I listen to this, and I'm like, this sounds good to me. And that's important. Like, you know, people, after my last stream, really got on my case. Oh, you have an ego. You can't say someone has an ego. You have an ego. Yes, I have an ego. Oh, an artist needs an ego. You need to have confidence, because anxiety, like bleeds through your work. Doesn't matter how hard you try to hide it. I can tell when somebody is anxious about the song they wrote by how they wrote it. Because, like, I can tell that they're afraid of being judged for being, like, outside the box or breaking the rules or whatever. Like, it doesn't fit their exact rubric of what good is, and they think other people will see it like that too. But if you hold yourself to that standard, you will never do anything. If you are waiting for your song to be perfect, you will never finish it. If you're waiting for like the perfect moment of inspiration, you will never write. You know? Like it will never come. There's no perfect. Like when I write a song like this, and it's like I know it's probably not gonna go anywhere. I don't care. I'm really happy with it. I don't care what inspired it. It's like you gotta know what you have. You have to know, like, okay, what I have is mine. And it came from a genuine place. It didn't come from a place where I'm trying to prove myself to anybody. It didn't come from a place of like, oh, I learned this in school and I have to be as perfect as I was in school. It comes from a genuine place of like, this is a song I wanted to write. And being self-critical is not a bad thing. Like, you know, you have to be negative to some point to be a good artist. Because you need to be able to also say, I did not do a good job here. Let me try again. And figure out what your mistakes were and work from there. But to learn from your mistakes, you have to do something. You can't make mistakes if you don't do anything. And what should I say? Like, because I have seen songs where it's like I can tell the anxiety of like I have to fit the meter perfectly, I have to rhyme everything perfectly, everything has to make sense, I need to capture the story exactly as I planned it out, I need to follow my outline. You'll never do anything. My best songs were written in like 30 minutes because I just went for it. And I put aside that fear. Like it really is a thing. You just have to go for it. And I think a lot of RWBY music has that anxiety to it, where it's like I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing, but it has to fit this certain standard that I've set for myself. It's either that or Jeff Williams just isn't very good. But I don't know. Maybe it's a mix of both. It's I don't know. It's an interesting question, right? Because Jeff seems like the type of artist who kind of falls back on what he knows. Like he's not really willing to push the envelope. He's just kind of falling back on what he knows. And that's why a lot of the songs sound exactly the same. Perfectionism gets in the way. Perfectionism it's good to be self-critical. It is not good to be a perfectionist. Unless you're like Michael Jackson or David Bowie, it's not going to serve you well. You have to get to the point where you could be a perfectionist. You know what I mean? Like you have to work your way up to the point where like the flaws that are left are like the difference between a 9 and a 10. You know what I mean? And very few of us will get that. Sometimes I look back at songs I've written, like, you know, if I went to like my lyrics and I was looking at like all these songs I've written over the past 6 months or so, there are some songs I have down here that's called archived songs. And these are the songs where I just said, like, I don't like them. So I just kind of put them aside, but I don't delete them because you never know. You never know. You have that. Maybe I could fix that one. But it's also okay to have those archive songs and never touch them. Just don't get rid of them. Don't say, like, this is a lost cause, just throw it away. Not because you'll recycle it later, but because you always want that reference of, like, sorry, what's this? I will forever stand by RWBY, never knowing the power of instrumental. Yeah, they don't know the power of instrumental. Yeah. Yeah. Comment that says, it's funny, my English teacher told me that being a good creator of anything creative needs you to act like you're on Chopped. Take random difficult shit and run with it. Don't give up if it's hard. Yeah, honestly. Limit yourself in ways, give yourself challenges. But also just put something on paper. Like, these songs, even if I don't like them anymore, were something that was put down on paper. And maybe there's things that I'll use later. Maybe it won't be like that. But, like, they're still mine. I did that. I don't want to throw that out. It's why I do have somewhere every song I've written on a document going back to when I was 15. Because I think that, like, anything you make, I'm not saying keep every piece of art you've ever created, because in a physical space that would get crowded very fast. But, like, try to put yourself in the shoes of these songs you didn't like that you wrote. And what was it about? Or, like put yourself in the place of, like, where were you when you wrote them? What was it you liked at the time and what you don't like now? Makes sense? And there are some songs where I didn't like them as I wrote them and I just want to finish them. So, like, there's just so many factors. And I think it's worth thinking about, like, I have some songs down here and it's like, oh, what was I, you don't want to be like, oh, what was I thinking? Like, well, I thought it was good at the time. And I don't think it's because I was, worse, worse. I think it's because I just had a different mindset when I wrote it. And now it just doesn't fit for other reasons. You have to be critical, but you can't, like, just not perfectionist. It's a big part of it. And just let yourself be bad sometimes. Like, I have songs on here where I'm like, damn, this is kind of bad, but I love it anyway. People will respond to earnestness. All right. Porter Robertson, yeah. Like, there's a couple lines in all these songs where, like, every time I sing them, I, like, cringe a little bit inside, but I'm like, I just have to power through. All right. I'm going to like, for real, I need to wind it down. My head hurts. But great stream. I had a really good time today. I hope you guys all have a next good couple of weeks. And new video out this week, I promise. Okay? Have a